Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays Tetris 99. Well, did I do that? Look at that, we're on the stats screen. 11 wins. Still, most KOs was that first dub, but yesterday, it's been 3 or 4 days since I recorded the last batch. Yesterday I won a game on stream, which was, it's always nice to do. I think it's the first one I've ever won on stream, with the pressure of a live audience that I had to ignore to overclock my cerebral cortex to keep putting down pieces. And I won 2 off camera just at night when I was hanging out, peeping a little Geostorm, the classic film with Gerard Butler, out of my peripheral vision. So I feel good. Like, I'm not guaranteeing a victory in this episode, but you should, at this point, just assume that any given run of Tetris 99 has a chance. You know, there's no, at least it starts by having a chance, let's put it that way. There's no extenuating circumstances any longer that are required in order to get a victory. The only thing required to get a victory is not completely screwing up early. And then playing well throughout the run. I think I made it seem a little bit more braggadocious than I was intending. I didn't mean that if I never made mistakes, I would always win, for many reasons. What I meant is, don't write off a run just because we don't have a Rorschach situation right off the start. Sorry, I was looking for the T-spin opportunity there, didn't get it. So what's the secret to winning? Hate to say it, brother. There is no secret. I thought the T-spins would unlock the potential. I thought, whoop, that was just a double tap. I thought that playing faster would unlock the potential. I thought that watching tutorials would unlock the potential. You know what actually unlocked the potential? All of them. Trying to unlock the potential, unlock the potential. Playing a lot, getting a decent chunk of practice in, and really, without insulting the T-spin, playing clean. You know, just good Tetris has helped out a great deal as well. You know, we can stack that there. I gotta think for just a moment, which is a dangerous thing sometimes. Dude, we're so far away from our T-piece, though. Ooh, what have you done? All right, here you go. We're safe. I actually, you know, the T-spins, do not at me for this terrible opinion. I don't want to necessarily, and I made a number of mistakes in a very short amount of time there. I don't necessarily want to take the position that the T-spins are overrated. But I will stand by the idea that they're overrated for beginners. I think, you know, as a beginner, which I definitely was, and maybe am just cresting out of now, everybody's on you at all times. You gotta learn how to T-spin, dude. I've been watching the videos on YouTube. How you gonna win without doing a T-spin? Well, I deserve this, to be honest. That was a much deserved loss. I placed an L-piece sideways over my T-spin hole. Very dumb mistake. Like I said, you can never count me out, dude. I think just playing faster has been the biggest thing. And then you get a recognizance over time of, you know, where different pieces go based on their actual, you know, just based on their physical structure. Pretty bad warm-up game, but life goes on. At least we know, you know, we introduced some conversational topics. Nothing to worry about here early. Let's play a smoother game this time. So I'm thinking, you get something like that set up, and look at that. Now we got a little baby T-spin opportunity. My real fatal flaw is that I almost always need a first T-piece to set up the second T-piece, okay? And I think this one should work. The downside being we need to get the T-piece first. Let's try this. We got one attacker. So I'm just going to slide this in the old-fashioned way. Maybe don't quote me on that one. Never realized until I started playing it on YouTube. But there's a lot of double entendre potential in Tetris. Previously, I thought it was an innocent game for innocent players. I've only recently come to realize that, in fact, it's got the dirtiest vernacular out there. Every single piece of Tetris lingo sounds like it could also be the name of a maneuver that Robert Kraft allegedly got involved in. You know, okay, so I'm not really much of a current events guy, but you gotta give me one now and then. See, like, that seems like a very bad way to do it, but, you know, you get the weep. I've also recently, chat, and this is why it's nice to have live feedback, but I was told by chat that whenever you hear the whip, it's always you either making a T-spin or a double Tetris. I had no idea. That means every single time I've been like, oh, I just heard a T-spin, it's actually been me probably getting a double Tetris in a relatively short period of time. That's embarrassing, but also hilarious. See, that we didn't do anything special there. We got a KO just by targeting KOs and grinding the enemy down. Actually, meant to swap that. This is not bad, honestly. Can actually even do that. And then this, and then this. Just to make sure we actually hit the bonus for the Tetris. This is actually not bad at all. I don't really want to build on top of the garbage hole, but it's relatively inconsequential for the time being. So we're just going to throw a perp in there. We got a green coming soon, so we'll do something like this. And if anything, I'm actually pretty pleased because we're going to have a bunch of... we're going to have a bunch of garbage to hopefully try to do something with. Now, I'm going to go on attackers real quick, and I'm going to hopefully go on a tear, because I'm realizing there's a little bit of wishful thinking earlier. We got quite a lot of garbage coming our way now, but we're about to hit that doo-doo-doo. It has been done. Still got a lot of danger, but we're getting that damage multiplier just via the sheer number of people targeting us right now. Don't build in the garbage hole. Don't be a fool. Okay, we had to build on the garbage hole. I gave ourselves a way out. The way out was rebuked instantaneously. Do not do that. Do that. You gotta make lines, dude. This is one of those situations. This isn't compromise meta, dude. This is compromise to survive. Oh, Haunted Controller. That's not a great game, to be honest. We got some heat there, but I don't think we played terribly once the heat hit us. I will say, should have been a little bit more aggressive. Once we had a lot of attackers, we could have responded a little faster to that. People have told me, by the way, for Haunted Controller, they have explained what the problem is. Apparently, the Joy-Cons have a tendency to accumulate a little bit of dust. And when they get dust under the left joystick, sometimes it just kind of takes over. It's okay. You know, life goes on. Thought we 2 KOs could be a little bit better, but it's still shaking a little bit of the rust off, too. And that's fine. You know? Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't know what I'm telling, you know. I don't feel like it's the problem with the fact that I've spent my whole life online, you know? Whenever I don't win something that I have a chance to win, because it's, you know, PUBG didn't really have a chance to win most of those games. If you know what I mean. But whenever I don't win something and I have a chance to win it, I feel like, oh, dude, I gotta explain. I gotta come up with a cogent explanation for why that one went totally wrong. And I think that's just, you know, gotta accept, you know, in Battle Royales, I think it pays to have a short memory, you know, to be a little nihilistic. I'm gonna go on attackers real quick, just to not double down on our mistake from last time, hopefully. It's a little touchy. That was probably the wrong place, but we got another one coming down real soon. Almost let my controller get haunted on that one. Would have been an embarrassing way to go. We got a lot of attackers. I think this is a beautiful situation, honestly. We should probably capitalize on this immediately. Just stack them. I always say I don't like to do it. I do it anyway, so let's just finally admit. You know what? I say it's like Walter White. I'm stacking them because I want to stack them. Get off my case, Skylar. I'm not going to get into it, but I always think Skylar gets kind of a raw deal in the Breaking Bad fandom. But, you know, we don't need to talk about that today. This isn't Breaking Bad Monthly. That's another show I run where we discuss the episodes of Breaking Bad 2 times per year. That's not a real thing. Don't go looking for it. You will be disappointed. Okay, we've done ourselves a disservice here. Let's start sending some of the garbage back. No, not like that though. Like this. Okay. Garbage hole is in, I wouldn't say mission critical zones yet, but you know, certainly we don't want to build too much more on top of it. We've actually cleared it out pretty nicely here. I'm okay with that. I see a lot of lines coming up from the other side of the screen. I don't know what's going on. People are starting to finally get their sends ready. Okay, we're good. Dude, you don't normally start to hit, you know, a red line when you're getting sent your first lines of garbage. That normally happens much, much later. So I don't know what's happening here. I'm either being sent garbage by an incredible Tetris prodigy, or it honestly beats me. Because it's happening fast. Normally you get a couple of lines and the game's like, I didn't even want to bring it up because I thought it might just annoy you. In this situation, it's like, as soon as we get a line sent to us, the game's like, dude, you gotta handle this or you're gonna be in a world of hurt. Blues first. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter, actually, now that I look at it, but... And then no lines here, so I don't know. I guess we're maybe less targeted for the time being. Pretty good response, I think, at least. Really good time for a long piece to show up temporarily. I think we gotta hit him with one of these. Replace it with one of those when the time is right. Sadly, I don't like it, for the record. But it did give us a window. We even could have done better on that one, but I don't want to belabor the point. Mostly because if I start to belabor the point, I'm not going to be able to focus anymore. Things are starting to fly at us pretty quickly here. Not going to hit you with that radio silence just yet, but... I don't like it. Definitely don't like it. Hit him with something like this instead. Now, you know, we got a real dereliction of duty here. We got a problem. Probably going to need to solve it with an orange piece, which is a little bit of a compromise, but life goes on. It's a lot of attackers. I mean, it's only 2, I guess. But when 2 of 18 people are hitting you, feels a little bit more dangerous than it actually might be, I guess. Now, normally, as you're probably aware, I'm like grateful when I'm being attacked in this game. This is not the case right now. I'm also struggling. Oh, I'm a fool. We could have placed that much better. I'm struggling mightily to place my well in a location where I'd actually like to have it. Like, the middle is not where I want it to be. Okay, we finally got it set up on the right side. And then I broke it immediately, but... for what I felt like was a good reason at the time, okay? This isn't the time nor the place to discuss that. Well, we do that in the post-mortem once the game is complete. For the time being, we just focus on having a strong finish. By the way, radio silence. For real, though. It's gotta happen faster. That was... You can't... I don't have a hand cam. All I'm going to say is that I feel like a couple of those pieces slotted in, and that's not to say it cost us the dub. I feel like a couple of those pieces slotted in as I was rotating them. We didn't get that infinity spin that I tend to look for. You try to spin it over the top of the pieces. That's okay. I'm coming to the point where people are going to stop being sympathetic of my Joy-Con issues. And instead they're going to say, hey, idiot, get new Joy-Cons. That's a great idea. That's a very good idea. Am I at that level where I'm going to play a free game with controllers I specifically bought to not have a couple of input mistakes per game? I think perhaps we are there, to be honest. I think in the same way that I bought the flight stick to play X-Plane. Yo, dude, put me on attackers. Maybe it's time I get some new Joy-Cons. So I no longer have to say, there's nothing I could do, dude. Alright, so we got a T-spin setup. Believe you me, I'm no huge fan of the Franken structure we built to accommodate our T-spin. That's okay, because we're going to start sending them a little earlier now. I'm going to stop looking for the dream scenario. And instead, I'm going to start to send them like pretty much immediately in the hopes that we get enough of a damage multiplier off of the T-spin to put us in a safer position. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. Let's be honest, it didn't. Otherwise, we would have kills right now. It's the streamer brain talking. I think he'd start to send them again. They go on KOs. I actually think they bailed on us. Probably afraid. Can't blame them. I mean, think about us. Haunted controller, just temporarily there. Think about us like a couple weeks ago. Somebody came at us with a T-spin, like within the first 45 seconds of the game. How are we going to react? Probably call them a nerd. Introduce a new terminology to describe them, i.e. Wyatt. And then go upon with our next run, hoping to run into less advanced competition next time. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong. Yikes, dude. Do not build on the garbage hole if possible, but then immediately, here's the thing, build on the garbage hole. Wrong move. No, dude, we're dead. We're gonna die here. That's fine. We got targeted by what felt like a good player. I'm gonna take a deep breath. We've had pretty bad results over the course of this video, so let's take a step back. And then just think to yourself, you know? What could we do better? What's going wrong? How are we gonna get out of this? We're gonna queue 8 hours later so we don't run into this time zone of players. Time zones are a real thing in games just the same way they are in real life, you know? You play at different times of the day, you run into a different audience. I exclusively want to play video games when the demographic that's bested them is asleep or otherwise indisposed. That's right. In my heart of hearts, I'm a coward. Just a really bad setup I don't want to double down on right there. And that's only like 10% a joke. For the most part, I stand by what I said there. Just drop it right there. We're gonna have to reconfigure this whole thing to get ourselves out of it. So don't sweat it too much just yet. You know what? I see we got a few attackers. They saw we were weak. I don't blame them. But I also, if anything, I just pity them. What was I saying? I wasn't mostly joking. I believed that there was a Tetris time zone. I got no idea what the Tetris time zone is for this game. Which is called Tetris, by the way. I'm not sure if we established that. But I don't think that's our problem. Maybe it's like, you know, the better you play, the more of a warm-up you need in order to get yourself to that level where you feel comfortable. Like, for here, I wouldn't say we're playing badly. I'd say we probably could be making more of an effort to build up in a productive way instead of just exclusively, you know, clearing a couple of lines and then getting out of it. And just because it worked for us in terms of getting a KO, that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do moving forward. You know, what's been the biggest success for us when it comes to racking up the kills? Generally speaking, building high has been really helpful. Then you wait for the next long piece and you start to go, it was just a split second behind there. You want to go KOs, and then you hope that that's enough, and then you start from 0 again. And you can, the gears are starting to turn again. Feels good. Toss me one, we got orange piece coming first. Toss me one right here. That took longer than it should have. But now we got that set up, which feels a little bit better. You know what? I don't like it. There's another thing I'm working on. As soon as I don't like it, it's time for a little send. Doesn't have to be a big send. Just the type of send that, you know, it keeps you in the game. In case things are getting a little heated. Which, I definitely think we're starting to get there. But I had that line kind of in my back pocket for the whole time. So I'm realizing as well is that, you know, keeping a long piece in your back pocket is not a bad play. You know, just because it's super beginner oriented, you know, there's a reason that everybody kind of defaults to that Tetris strategy, especially at first, you know, of just hold a long piece, use it to make a Tetris. It's functional, right? I think. That's how it seems to me, at least. But even better than that, I think, just send it. Wrong time to send. Even better than that is actually, in my opinion at least, holding a play in your back pocket. So instead, I know we're doing a little Danism here, but instead of being like, you know, I've got this piece in my back pocket so that I can, you know, if push comes to shove, I can drop it. You know, that's better than nothing. But what seems even better than that is, you know, I've got like these 3 pieces lined up that I can do something with in case something goes down. We should get serious because this is starting to be potentially a functional run here. Okay, don't let it get you down. What do you do in this situation? Possibly lose, but definitely for now just start being faster. And even when that leads to some situations that you might not be super pleased with, hey, we got down to the bottom, picked up a KO on the way. Very, very lucky to have not been targeted in the interim period. I'm going to hit you with Radio Silence. We got some real attackers. Long piece is coming soon enough. Like I said, Radio Silence. You know, Radio Silence, just the occasional little bit of speech. You wouldn't understand. It's too advanced for you, apparently. Too long till the next good piece. Had to give him one of those. Ooh, that's a real bad one. We're finally free. Took way too long. We're not free. We're free. And again, Radio Silence, by the way. Long piece, please. Orange piece, please. Send them, dude. Huge. Huge. What can I say? I felt the heat coming my way. I feel like we were going up against a pretty good guy. I saw the lines. Made a couple of... couple of sensible gambits. And all of a sudden, after a very, very disappointing start, the first few runs of this episode, we really got down to what I would consider to be a pretty good battle there. That was a good one. And how many T-spins were present? 0. Now, we probably weren't going up against any esports level pros, and I might be one of the highest level players in the game, embarrassingly enough, but simultaneously, it was a good win. Feels great. That's going to do it for this episode. Act like you've been there before. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps us a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!